Madness at the mall. Hey everyone, we have a very absurd story from TikTok today that centers around the clip I posted on a recent Public Freakouts episode where you see these two women get into a literal, like a fight, a physical altercation over this Labubu Pop Mart doll that they both want for their kids. And I wish I could say this was an isolated incident. It may be the most insane, but in the past couple of months, Labubu drops across America's malls have caused argument after argument and fight after fight. Now, what is a Labubu, you might ask? It's this thing. It's a little mischievous monster toy that has, for reasons I may never fully understand, captured the hearts and souls of young women all over the world. And they created such demand, and yes, even conflict, because of the nature of the Labubu collection scheme. Each box contains a random Labubu, one of 6 in the series, with 1 in 72 of those boxes containing an extremely rare variation called the Zamomo, which I assure you is somehow different from a Labubu for reasons that are so scientific I won't bother explaining them. So that's what they were fighting over, but our main character, TikTok user Badass K, gets to the Roosevelt Field Mall in Garden City, Long Island pretty early in the day. She's hoping she'll be early enough to get in line for the Pop Mart vending machine to restock so that she can surprise her young daughter with the toys later on. Before we dive into what really happened here and what became of all our characters, here's the viral video that started it all.
I was gonna push you because you're literally in public freaking.
You're not giving me a chance to do my job. Are you giving me a chance to do my job? And you're clearly shutting me off every time I try to speak. So how am I gonna be? How am I gonna be?
We're not. I'm here.
You're not being compliant and you're not listening.
To physically attack me.
I heard you. Your husband made that very clear. She did confirm that she said she was gonna shove you. She did say
Is that appropriate?
No, that's not appropriate.
But is it appropriate for you to curse me out?
Ma'am?
What do you feel about
Ma'am, can I finish?
This is crazy.
She has clear evidence on her phone that she was here half before you arrived.
You can watch the security cameras.
Ma'am?
Or actually ask that woman.
Ma'am, can I speak?
She's literally in the picture.
She said she's going to physically attack me. Is that okay?
Are you going to let me speak or not? Are you going to let me speak or not?
The fact that you're not removing her from the mall for
I'm not doing nothing wrong.
threatening to attack me
Ma'am?
is enough.
Yo, this is insane. Like, you're literally mad because you're not getting your 2 daughters one each. It's crazy to me. There's 5 of them. It's first come, first serve. You're literally mad because you didn't wake up for your daughter's birthday. That's not my fault.
The way you reacted to this lady, and you will.
Because I'm showing my proof. I'm not lying. You literally started attacking me for no
You're
reason.
not listening. This lady right here.
Are you sending the police here?
Yes, she's literally going batshit crazy. She's calling the cops and everything.
I'm gonna do shit.
She's crazy.
Girl, I need to get one.
She's crazy. Literally, me and this lady were here. I literally went downstairs to grab my car keys. She starts cursing me the out because I said I was getting 2. Just because her daughter's birthday. Wake up early next time. I have a daughter too.
Give me a chance to do my job. Yes, let the cops come and deal with it.
Like, if you was nice enough, I probably would have just taken 1, but now you can really go eat ass, and I'm gonna take 2 now. Unless you're gonna do something about it, you can't do nothing.
Excuse me. Yes, ma'am. You don't own the machine.
Yeah, can you like remove her? Like, what is going on? She's not even letting nobody buy.
Actually, she's first.
This is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous, that's for sure. But what really happened here? Why was this woman playing goalie for a children's toy machine? Why did she feel so entitled to the toys inside? Why were security guards involved at all? So to explain everything, we have to back up a bit to when Badass K first arrives at the mall in search of Labubus. She gets there, she sees one woman in line, and she learns from that same woman, who's waiting for the same toy to restock, that the machine restock would be happening pretty soon, a few minutes. After waiting around for, 5 minutes or so, our main character asks the woman in front of her to hold her spot in the line while she goes to go get her keys. Now, she doesn't explain this part any further. Maybe she left them in another store and had to go retrieve them, not sure. But she does tell us that the woman in front of her was really nice about it and happy overall to hold her spot. So as she's returning to the machine a few minutes later, she notices a new woman with her husband and 2 daughters the woman from the video, now standing in line behind the woman who agreed to hold her spot. And she gets back in line behind the woman, so it looks at this point kind of like she's just coming up and cutting this woman in line, right? And she has to explain that she's having this spot held for her by the woman in the front of the line. Apparently, she backs off from there, but keeps it pretty passive-aggressive. She's making little comments, right? Until our story's Karen realizes that these two people in front of her are also here for the Disney Labubus that Karen is here to get for her two daughters. And unfortunately, there are only 5 Disney Labubus available with the new restock, which means after Lady 1 gets her 2 Labubus she wanted, and our main character gets the 2 that she wants, our Karen is left with only 1 Labubu for both of her daughters. They would have to share. And at first, this was fine, but apparently the 2 daughters were very distraught by the news that they may not each get their own special Disney Labubu and began to moan and complain to mom and dad. So the distraught daughters put some pressure on mom to make things happen. They each need their Labubu, and other people's needs are secondary. So mom tells our main character and the first woman in line, you guys need to share. Meaning, one of you who got here before me needs to only get 1 of the 2 that you wanted so that I can get 2 for my daughters and they stop being a pain in my ass. And they aren't going for it, right? Because obviously. So she gets really angry and she starts yelling and getting more aggressive and not passive anymore. And her husband is sheepishly sitting silently on the mall couch doing nothing. And when all of this fails, Karen switches to, well, it's my daughter's birthday, so she deserves this more than your kids do. Nothing is working. So what does she do? Karen escalates this to security. She calls the security officers over, only for security to side with our main character after hearing everyone's stories, having seen her in line earlier that morning before Karen had even arrived. At this point, there are 2 security guards here, and another woman, the one in the blue dress here, comes up to try and use the vending machine herself. And Karen is blocking the machine at this point with her physical body, and that woman confronts her, causing her to step away from the machine for just a moment. And at this point, things start getting physical. Because as Karen is talking to this other woman, our main character, determined not to let her steal these Labubus, runs over to cover the credit card tapper so that Karen can't use it. Was that petty? Yes. Do I disagree with it? Not necessarily. And when she does this, the woman comes and puts her whole ass on our main character's hands. Basically, stands sitting on her hands as she's covering this thing. So they're just mired in a petty exchange at this point, which has now become physical. And at this point, our main character is expecting some kind of psychological issue here. She's acting so absurd and out of control. She isn't working with security. She's still blocking this machine, and the machine gets shut down because of this until they can remove her from the front of it so that people can use it again. But get this. When order is restored and the vending machine Labubu purchases are ready to continue, our main character finally goes to purchase the 2 that she wanted initially. And mid-purchase, this lunatic woman sneaks up out of the blue and snakes our main character in the face, right over the security guard's shoulder. And then her entire family jumps up and starts literally running out of the mall to escape justice for the assault their mother had just committed / wife had just committed. Our main character, and most people who watch this on PFU didn't know this, was literally punched in the face, fully assaulted by this woman in a total hit and run maneuver. Security tells her, hey, don't chase her, the cops are already here, just talk to them. And she's got crazy adrenaline and her mouth is full of blood. She's in shock from getting sucker punched over the Labubu of all things. But she manages to listen to reason and calm down and talk to the cops instead of trying to chase after this lady and her kids and her husband. And she has witnesses and the cut in her mouth to show them. And they, of course, ask if she wants to press charges. And she says yes. But incredibly, the cops also serve some hot tea. According to the officer she talked to, this woman is at this mall every Sunday, causing absolute havoc and, quote, bugging the fuck out. So she's a known problem at this mall. What's funny is, Kay explains in her follow-up video that she would have been more than happy if the woman had just been kind and polite through this process to only get one Labubu for her kid so that each of her kids could have one, but that the self-importance, the absurd entitlement, the passive-aggressive attitude, the demanding nature, it all made her very disinclined to acquiesce to this request, as the great Captain Barbossa would say. But what became of this? Seems like we have a pretty clear picture of evidence of a crime here, but she fled the scene, which means she has to be found for justice to be served. Well, here's a crazy curveball for you. The dreaded Karen hunter Donish got on this case pretty quickly, and by July 2nd, the hit-and-run Labubu Karen had been found. She was identified as New Yorker Shannon Lima. And her now deleted LinkedIn page listed her as a consulting manager at Cognizant, which is a big company with a lot to lose, probably why any mention of her is completely scrubbed from their website. But long story short here, we found her. Well, Donish found her and informed our main character, Badass K, so that she could tip off police. No word yet on whether they managed to track this woman down and charge her for assault, but given that there was so much evidence for this attack and Kay won't be letting this go quietly, as she assures us, it seems very likely that our main character gets some kind of justice out of this. Kay, if you're listening, don't let this go, is probably my only advice, and feel free to send us a message on TikTok when this Labubu goblin, an apparently known local mall menace, finally gets arrested for punching you in the face. Alright everyone, that's it for now. We'll keep you updated if anything changes, but that is the crazy story behind that clip. Feel free to discuss the Labubus and the fall of civilization as we know it in the comments below. I'll see you around.